President Goodluck Jonathan had come out not too long ago to say that to ensure a transparent process, that INEC must be truly independent. And the former president was calling for independent screening and nomination of the electoral umpire. What's your take on that?
Yeah, well, a lot of us have said that we need to make the INEC independent. But you and I, how much power or voice do we have in actualizing this particular thing? And that's why we've had a lot of challenges in terms of our election, because he who pays the piper dictates the tune. And whether you want to like it or not, INEC will tell you that they are independent, not responsible to anything, but indirectly, people know who they are actually responsible to. It's not only applicable to this particular administration. We've seen it in time past. I think it's only during Jonathan's time, but you saw the drama that even played out when certain things are actually happening. It is not only even the INEC that I'm actually concerned with. The players, even in electioneering process, needs to be called to order, because a lot of people have actually seen it as a do or die, monetizing it and actually not making things to work. So when they are to even say the right thing, they will actually be supporting what is not supposed to be. But I think a true independence of INEC will actually liberalize them and make even the election process be more attractive to people that can earn it on merit, as against what we experience now, that is a function of godfatherism, and also the weight of the funds you're able to play around with in terms of it. And that's why a lot of politicians will not listen to the citizen, because so much that has actually been invested, even in winning the election, will first be recouped and added to before they actually consider the citizen they claim they are leading.
Okay. Thank you so much for that one, Sheso. But let's take a quick dive to Rivers State, where a coalition of 70 CSO, that's civil society organizations, have actually urged the National Assembly to summon the sole administrator of Rivers State, to call him to accountability for the time he has been an administrator in Rivers State under the federal government's emergency rule. Now, the question for me is, what mechanism, because with how it happened and for what reason it happened, so what mechanism should be in place to ensure transparency when federal authorities override elected officials? What mechanism should be in place?
Thank you very much. You see, each time I look at the reactive nature of some of our leaders, it saddens my heart. CSO calling for accountability. It is something that we must have a system. It's given a system that check the activity, because see, what I've seen with my few years as a person is that when you try to actually investigate and ask people to come and account for what they've done, what they do is that go to court. What do you get therein? Have you seen a lot of our leaders that has misappropriated our funds, and today they are still using the fund to oppress the citizen? They are supposed to use the money to actually better their life and their lot. So I feel that rather than coming to stop about the atmosphere of saying call people to accountability, I would rather say fix a system that check the activity of anyone in position of authority. We still have the problem of NNPCL with the former group managing director accused of misappropriation and misalignment of funds. Until today, he's just been visiting and we can't have anything come out of it. Is it that we just say some of those things for new sensation, or we have a system that has actually revealed? If you go to developed client, by the time they accuse you or call you for accountability, there are facts that are actually waiting for you to contest whatever you want to give to them as opposition. I feel that we should fix a system rather than saying being reactive.
Okay, so Sheson, before we let you go though, governance is, especially in Nigeria, is three-pronged, right? You have the executive, you have the judiciary, and then you have the legislature. The legislature is supposed to curb the excesses of the executive. Now the CSOs are calling on the National Assembly to do their job, live up to their billing. And you're saying put a mechanism in place. Do you not trust the National Assembly to do its job?
We are not saying they should. What I'm saying here is that National Assembly should not wait for the action to have been carried out. As the legislative arm, put the control mechanism that as the person is going into the office, those things are acting as check and balances to monitor, not after his exit. I always tell everybody I'm a chartered accountant, and an auditor will see what he wants to see. If you don't put a cap to what an expenses should be, if somebody gets into office and he have access to the funds as available to him, he will spend it the way he feels he should. But if there are control mechanisms to what is expected to be spent on a particular thing, that means you are putting a system to check the activity of such. So I will be joining my voice with CSO not to ask for accountability. As they are asking, they should put that measure in place so that as you are exiting, we don't need to call you back. We are either giving you commendation for actually walking around the system to follow through and make sure that you deliver what is expected, or we are calling you that we've observed certain things without even further explanation to plead guilty of some of the atrocity you have committed in the office. So I would rather say we should be proactive, put those systems in place, put the mechanism in place, as against being reactive when the person has actually exited. Most of the time, when the money has gone, it has gone, and it's gone.
Okay, thank you so much, Shesho, for those insightful thoughts and for sharing it with us. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure to be with you this evening, and I wish you a very wonderful night rest.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. The name again is Choma. Okay, thank you so much, you. Yes, my other colleague, my colleague is Vivian. However, you're still watching News Hour on Voice of the People Television. When we return from the break, foreign, business, sports, and entertainment. Please do stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching News Hour on Voice of the People Television. Like I said before, I'm Chomalina. My colleague is Vivian Oguche. And we continue with the news. But before we do, we'll have to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOPTV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOPTV, Voice of the People Television.
Welcome back from that break, and thank you for still staying with us. In another development, the presidency has dismissed as misleading and out of touch with reality the recent criticism by former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, stating that Nigeria is making steady economic progress under President Bola Tinubu, rejecting Atiku's remarks in which he likened Nigeria's current situation to pre-revolutionary France and Russia. The special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, noted that headline inflation had declined for the fifth consecutive month as of August. Onanuga, who cited data from the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, added that the country posted a record trade surplus, with non-oil exports now accounting for 48% of the trade balance against crude oil 52%. The statement further disclosed that Nigeria's foreign exchange reserves have risen to nearly $42 billion compared to the $32 billion when Tinubu took office. It added, among others, that the government has cleared over $7 billion in arrears, including $800 million owed to international airlines.
Now, President Bola Tinubu says he's cutting short his 2-week work vacation and will return to Abuja Tuesday, according to spokesman Bayo Onanuga. In a statement, Onanuga said President Tinubu has concluded his work vacation ahead of schedule and will return to Abuja on Tuesday to resume official duties. The statement recalled that Tinubu departed for France on September 4 to spend part of his annual holiday and was initially scheduled to divide the period between France and the United Kingdom. It disclosed that last week in Paris, Tinubu and his French counterpart, President Emmanuel Macron, reviewed key areas of cooperation between Nigeria and France and agreed to deepen the partnership for mutual prosperity and global stability.
A group, the United Igbo Elders Council, UNIAC, worldwide, has called for Nigeria's urgent restructuring anchored on organic, coherent and functional regions. In a statement by its Director General, Justice Alpha Ibama, UNIAC condemned what it called the current disjointed, awkward and vindictive 6 geopolitical zones. UNIAC stated that Nigerians have suffered too long under false promises and prolonged debates without concrete solutions. According to the group, true restructuring should guarantee a just and humane Nigerian society, tackle the fundamental questions of ethnic nationalities, power sharing, and equitable distribution of resources, rather than cosmetic amendments or power devolution. It stated that the restructuring being advocated will usher Nigeria into organic, coherent, and functional regions, rather than the existing 6 geopolitical zones that are designed only to keep Nigeria chaotic and stagnant. UNIAC further stated that restructuring must grant the right of relative self-determination to each constituent group, with each region paying agreed taxes to sustain the central government.
Now, the Dangote Group has refuted claims by the Depot and Petroleum Product Marketers Association of Nigeria, DAPMAN, that the refinery sells petrol to international traders at 65 naira, which is far cheaper than the rate at which it sells in Nigeria. The company's reaction followed a statement by DAPMAN Executive Secretary Olufemi Adewale that members of the group bought Dangote's petrol from international traders in Lome, Togo, at prices lower than what was offered locally by the refinery. According to Adewale, importers had made efforts to buy petrol from the Dangote refinery, but the price was higher. Therefore, it could be better to import the product sometimes. In a statement, however, Dangote Group has described the claims as misleading, stating that checks revealed that the average pump price in Lome is approximately 680 CFA francs per litre, which is equivalent to 1,826 naira. It added that this figure reflects the very scenario that DAPMAN and its affiliates appear to advocate for in Nigeria.
We'll take another quick break. When we return, News Hour still continues.
Welcome back, everyone. Now, the Nnamdi Azikiwe University in Awka, Anambra State, played host to a public lecture with the theme Restructuring for True Federalism, a challenge to Igbo leadership. The event brought together prominent stakeholders, including traditional rulers, scholars, and leaders from across the Southeast to discuss the future of Igbo leadership within the Nigeria political framework. Our correspondent, Undu Balezi, has details.
The President General of Ohaneze Ndigbo, Senator John Azuta Mbata, who chaired the event, emphasized the need for restructuring to reflect true federalism, enabling the Igbo nation to significantly impact the Nigerian democracy.
Nigerian federalism, the real point is about the man-made trajectory of our federalism that always seems to punish, disadvantage, discriminate against, and relegate the Igbo to the background of Nigerian politics.
The guest lecturer, Professor Basigwe, stressed that restructuring should focus on nation building, not ethnicity, adding that issues like political imbalance and economic marginalization should be addressed.
People should have confidence in their military and security services.
The traditional ruler of Onitsha, Igwe Alfred Achebe, said there is need to create a system of coordinating independent federating units to enhance development and empower local communities.
I think what we should do is go home and think about the message and how we ourselves will contribute to the way forward for Nigeria and for America.
Professor Godwin Onu described the annual lecture as a forum for preserving and advancing Igbo knowledge and heritage.
The event's central mission is to serve as a beacon for scholarly inquiry into the being, history, and global connections of Igbo. We aim to articulate what makes the Igbo people distinct among other nations in Nigeria and worldwide.
The acting Vice Chancellor of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Professor Carol Arinzumobi, represented by Professor Harry Obinwos, highlighted the importance of understanding Igbo culture and values, stating that the Igbo-ness lies in the Igbo character and the matrix of values. Ndo Opaleze, VOP TV News.
Now on the foreign scene. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has not ruled out further strikes on Hamas leaders following last week's attack in Qatar, saying they would not have immunity wherever they are. Speaking at a press conference in Jerusalem with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Netanyahu said every country had the right to defend itself beyond its borders. Israel's decision to target Hamas leaders in Qatar, a close U.S. ally, drew international outrage and criticism from U.S. President Donald Trump. Hamas said 6 people were killed, but that its leaders survived. Netanyahu's comment come days after the White House said Trump had assured Qatar that such a thing would not happen again on their soil.
Just read from my phone. Well, in business news, the federal government says it is initiating a new industrial roadmap that will be double the sector's share of national output over the next decade as it projects a rise to 25% of gross domestic product by 2035 from the current 10% contribution. The Minister of State for Industry, Senator John Owen, who disclosed the plan at the Gastech exhibition and conference in Milan, described the framework as a defining milestone of the present administration. According to Owen, the policy signals Nigeria's transition from a resource-dependent economy toward a competitive, innovation-led industrial hub. He told participants that it was the first time in decades that Nigeria has adopted a comprehensive industrial framework, adding that the move was expected to reshape the country's growth trajectory. He further stated that the reforms in motion and new frameworks validated, the next decade will be defined by industrial expansion, energy optimization, and global partnerships.
And in the world of sports, Nigeria's Tobi Amuso delivered a splendid performance on Monday with her 12.29 seconds to clinch silver medal in the 100 meters hurdles at the World Athletic Championship in Tokyo, Japan. She trailed Switzerland's Itaji Kambuji, who won the race with 12.24 seconds, while United States' Grace Stark took the bronze in 12.34 seconds. The event was Amuso's first medal following a disappointing 3-year spell at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics and 2023 World Athletics in Budapest. Her top-notch performance was also the first medal for the Nigerian contingent at the ongoing championship, which began on September 13th. For Amuso, the silver medal is both a moment of pride and reflection as she remains firmly among the world's elite and continues to write history for Nigeria.
Well, in entertainment news, the 77th Primetime Emmy Awards took place over the weekend at the Peacock Theatre in Los Angeles, celebrating the best in television with historic wins and memorable moments. The comedy series, The Studio, stole the show, making history by winning a record 13 awards, the most ever for a single comedy in 1 year. In drama, The Pit took home Best Drama Series, while its star Noah Weil won Best Drama Actor. Limited series Adolescence also shone, earning 6 awards. The ceremony featured groundbreaking milestones. 15-year-old Owen Cooper became the youngest male actor ever to win an Emmy, snagging Best Supporting Actor in a limited series for Adolescence. Trammell Tillman of Severance made history as the first black man to win Best Supporting Actor in a drama series. The night also paid tribute to television's legacy with homages to classics like Grey's Anatomy and The Golden Girls, and reunions from shows like The Good Place.
And that is all. That is it on News Hour. But before we go, a quick look at the headlines. Rising reserves, others prove progress. Presidency tells Atiku. Atiku cautions against hasty PIA amendment, JV divestment. Federal government suspends 4% FOB collection by customs. NMA slams government over unpaid salaries, says Nigeria now doctors exporters. PDP seeks legalization of electronic results transmission. And on the foreign scene, Netanyahu does not rule out further strikes on Hamas leaders. In business, federal government targets 25% industry share of GDP by 2035. In sports, Amushaw wins silver in Tokyo. And in the world of entertainment, the studio makes history. The Pete wins big.
Well, that wraps it up for us in News Hour. Thank you so much for watching. I am Vivian Oguche.
And I am Choma Lena. Do stay safe.
My name is MC Adubike. They call me the Oga Patapata of them are the general overseer of them all. Every man, every woman has got a voice where integrity is the volume. So this is Voice of the People's TV. Voice of the People's TV. So this is the people's voice. And the people's voice is the voice of God. That's the voice populi in Latin. The people's voice is the voice of God. So keep watching Voice of the People. In fact, my name is Voice of the People. Keep watching MC Adubike. Thank you.
Hi guys, my name is Kegan. I am Nigeria's biggest tech content creator, and I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Voice of the People TV. Keep watching, enjoy, and you're welcome.
My name is MC Alamano. They say they call me Enjoyment Landlord. It's VOP TV. Keep watching VOP TV. Don't touch it down. Even if you want to touch it down, increase the volume. If you don't increase the volume, why told me?
My name is Collins Agawabe, popularly known as No Mind but last, more than No Mind more. Not be all so they cook right at the fry plantain. We keep on watching VOP TV. The voice of the people, the voice of Edo. If you want to get the authentic news for Edo, the way it be, that's why they show and all they cut anything come on. At VOP TV.
In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react, understand. Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I, from social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more. Tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. People's Voice, Mondays through Thursdays, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count.
September 15 marks the International Day of Democracy, a day set aside to celebrate democratic principles and promote democratic values around the world. First observed in 2008, the day serves as a reminder of the importance of freedom, participation, and the rule of law in building fair and just societies. It also highlights the role of citizens, institutions, and governments in safeguarding democracy. As nations face challenges such as political unrest, voter apathy, and threats to freedom of expression, this year's commemoration is a call to strengthen transparency, accountability, and inclusiveness in government.
Talking of democracy, we don't have democracy here in Nigeria. In fact, if you ask me more, I will tell you everyone to find their way. Divide the country. Let everybody be. As you can see, everybody's agitating. People from the eastern are agitating for Biafra. Some from west are agitating for Odua. I believe up north, some are agitating for Arewa. So, talking of democracy, for me, Nigeria, we don't have it yet. So, the best thing that will bring peace, if at all, is everybody to go their way. The release of Nnamdi Kanu will make everything work out. If Nigeria will still continue, fine. If it doesn't, so be it.
Well, there are so many things that are bad about the country right now. Things are getting out of hand. Imagine fuel of yesterday is now almost 800 and something naira. Diesel is not something not we cannot even talk about. The country is on its own is too poor. Our naira note is very poor, so everything about the country is too poor. We need the leaders to step up and do the betterment for this country.
Democracy that one don't have a speech, there's no freedom of speech. My brother, I don't think we are in democracy. We are a military regime. This is not democracy at all because you will not allow to talk, they will not allow to protest. So I don't understand. If she reduce the price of fuel, subsidy should come back. Then our naira should rise up and defeat the dollar. That is it. Nothing more than that. It should bring down. In short, it should bring down the economic. Let Nigeria economy be stable. Now we will be buying rice for 80,000, 80-something thousand. Unless you want to eat stone rice, that's why you will be going for 40,000, 50,000 rice. So that is it.
The United Nations urges everyone, from leaders to everyday citizens, to work together in defending democracy, ensuring that the rights and voices of all people are protected. Oyindamola Olukutan for Voice of the People TV.
VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Observed every 9th of September, the International Day to Protect Education from Attack highlights the impact of armed conflict on education and the need to uphold the right to safe learning spaces. The day, proclaimed by the United Nations, calls on governments and stakeholders to take concrete action to protect schools from attacks, abductions, and other forms of violence that disrupt education. Nigeria has witnessed repeated attacks on schools in recent years, ranging from kidnappings of students to the destruction of educational infrastructure in conflict-prone regions. Stakeholders warn that beyond immediate trauma, attack on schools deepen inequality, increase the number of out-of-school children, and weaken the nation's human capital development. This day also serves as a reminder that education is not just a service, but a lifeline for peace, resilience, and future opportunities.
We have to bring back the prestige the teaching profession used to have. While growing up, if you're a teacher, you're seen as somebody that is doing well. But now teachers are seen as a useless set of people. If that prestige comes back, we would see the Nigerian child learning better because teachers are encouraged. A recent news I saw yesterday, a governor said the teachers should go and clear grass in their schools. Do you expect those same teachers to have the morale to raise good students? No. Earlier this year, we had YX students writing exams as late as 10 p.m. with candles. We have to bring back the respect for the Nigerian children. These are the kids that will take care of us tomorrow. These are the kids that will take care of us tomorrow. If we do not give them what they deserve now, we would have a Nigeria that we as old people tomorrow would not be able to live in. This is why we have to pay attention to the Nigerian child. It is very, very important. Let's not even go to the areas where they have insecurities and all. That is a story everybody knows. But even in Abuja, we have teachers protesting that they earn less than the minimum wage. There are teachers that earn less than minimum wage in Abuja, and they've been protesting for months. Nobody's paying attention to them. And we have a state where the governor is saying teachers should go and clear grass. It is just not right. And we have to bring back whatever prestige, whatever respect that the education system deserves. It has to be brought back.
As the world commemorates the International Day to Protect Education from Attack, the message is clear. Schools must remain safe haven for learning, and protecting them is protecting the future. Matthew Ogunswada, reporting for Voice of the People TV.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOP TV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television.
VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
September 15 marks the International Day of Democracy, a day set aside to celebrate democratic principles and promote democratic values around the world. First observed in 2008, the day serves as a reminder of the importance of freedom, participation, and the rule of law in building fair and just societies. It also highlights the role of citizens, institutions, and governments in safeguarding democracy. As nations face challenges such as political unrest, voter apathy, and threats to freedom of expression, this year's commemoration is a call to strengthen transparency, accountability, and inclusiveness in government.
Talking of democracy, we don't have democracy here in Nigeria. In fact, if you ask me more, I will tell you everybody to find their way. Divide the country. Let everybody be. As you can see, everybody's agitating. People from the eastern are agitating for Biafra. Some from west are agitating for Odua. I believe up north, some are agitating for Arewa. So, talking of democracy, for me, Nigeria, we don't have it yet. So the best thing that will bring peace, if at all, is everybody to go their way. The release of Nnamdi Kanu will make everything work out. If Nigeria will still continue, fine. If it doesn't, so be it.
Well, there are so many things that are bad about the country right now. Things are getting out of hand. Imagine fuel of yesterday. It's now almost 800 and something naira. Diesel is not something we cannot even talk about. The country on its own is too poor. Our naira note is very poor, so everything about the country is too poor. We need the leaders to step up and do the betterment for this country.
Democracy that one don't have a speech. There's no freedom of speech. My brother, I don't think we are in democracy. We are a military regime. This is not democracy at all, because you will not allow to talk. They will not allow to protest. So I don't understand. She reduce the price of fuel. Subsidy should come back. Then our naira should rise up and defeat the dollar. That is it. Nothing more than that. It should bring down. It should bring down the economic. Let Nigeria economy be stable. Now we will be buying rice for 80,000, 80-something. Unless you want to eat stone rice, that's why you will be going for 40,000, 50,000 rice. So that is it.
The United Nations urges everyone, from leaders to everyday citizens, to work together in defending democracy, ensuring that the rights and voices of all people are protected. Bindamola Olukuton for Voice of the People TV.
The 2564 is coming up on Barney 9, right?
The 2564 Atlantic Tower.
What happens in the hush behind hangar doors? Who signs the papers that gamble with lives? Which truths were grounded before they even ever had wings? If you've ever buckled a seatbelt at 30,000 feet, if you've ever stared out of that tiny window and wondered who's really in control of the skies, it isn't just flight, it's power, it's politics, it's pressure sealed in steel. We're peeling back the clouds from runway risks to sky-high secrets. We're diving deep where most dare not to look. Aviation Scope, every Sunday at 7 p.m. only on Voice of the People TV. We don't just report, we reveal. We don't just ask, we uncover. Because when it comes to the skies, ignorance is turbulence. Aviation Scope, the sky isn't the limit, it's just the beginning.
Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I, from social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more. Tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. People's Voice, Mondays through Thursdays, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count. From the views on the street.
We go to bed empty hunger.
to the blaring horns of a hustling city. The loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lodge.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and penchant for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills three things that makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people. Join us as we drive into the world of politics through insightful interviews with prominent political figures, both serving and former governors, ministers, senators, legislators, party chieftains, activists, and analysts. Get first-hand information into the decision-making processes that affect our daily lives. Highly engaging one-hour program that brings political discourse into focus.
I am Chukwuma Okoro.
Political Lens, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Join us.
Ever wonder what inspires your favorite gospel artists? Explore and discover the rich heritage of continental gospel music and how this transformative journey has evolved and shaped cultures around the world. As we dig deep into archival treasures, feel the energy in our praise jam, Gospel Fusion, on Voice of the People Television. Tune in this Sunday, 3 to 4 p.m. and be part of a transformative experience that uplifts and inspires. Join us as we explore the transformative power of gospel music and its ability to uplift spirits and unite hearts. Tune in this Sunday, 3 to 4 p.m. on Voice of the People Television. Gospel Fusion. Let's fuse our hearts in praise and joy.
Into all of that, we'd like you to click on the subscription button on YouTube. We are Voice of the People Television, and on other social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live. We're also broadcasting live on Metro SL TV channel 264. Do well to join us. You can also call in, to be part of this conversation so that your voice will be heard, because here is the Voice of the People Television. Now, let's get into trending stories. And Guinness World Records has confirmed that Nigerian chef Hilda Effiong Bassi, known as Hilda Bassi, has set a new record for cooking the largest pot of Nigerian jollof rice. I like that, Nigerian jollof rice. Oh, yes. There was this contestation, Nigeria and Ghana jollof rice. Which one tastes better? Anyway, Ms. Bassi turned up the heat last Friday at Victoria Land, Lagos, serving up 8,780 kilograms of jollof rice. Now, that's huge. Thousands of people were present to cheer her on with music performances and various vendors eagerly waiting to see the end, where Hilda Bassi first became a household name in 2023 when she set the record for the longest cooking marathon. Hilda Bassi. Moses asked me yesterday if I tested the rice. Well, I didn't, and I don't know if he did, because he also didn't tell me whether he tested it. I didn't go to Victoria Island. But it's good to hear that Hilda has set another record after her 2023 outing. But this time, I think it's bigger. The price is bigger. Price not in terms of reward, but in terms of exposure, in terms of publicity and all of that. And I saw the pot, and I was like, wow, how come? And how was she able to mix in all of that? Sponsored by a certain company and all of that. And the thing, from people that tested, I also hear that it was quite tasty. And I said, why did I miss all of this? I like jollof rice anyway. And, probably I'll get there next time that there's this kind of competition so that I'll be part of it.
it's an interesting thing what Hilda Bassi is doing, and of course Nigerians would always turn up. Now there are certain takeaways.
I hope I don't cut you off. Why would Nigerians always turn up?
Nigerians would always turn up to support their own.
Okay, to support, not because of.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily because of hunger in the land. Okay. But basically to support their own, and that was what happened on Friday. Now, when she did the other one, when she cooked for hours, Nigerians were there as well. Nigerians supported her. You know, we saw Nigerians singing, dancing, cheering her on while she cooked, and then the food, of course, was served to the public. Now, some people on social media started saying this. Oh, this is a distraction from the trouble in the land. This is this is that. Now, we know that there is trouble in the land.
Yes.
There's a lot of...
There will always be.
There will always be.
Even in the US, even in UK, even in Sweden, the best parts of the world, there's always trouble in the land.
But this is something positive. This is a positive portrayal of Nigerians before the world. In as much as we know that, we are going through issues in, the governance and a lot of other things. We have a program that is on TV that is a major distracting Nigerian youths, and nobody is calling that a distraction. Anyway, that's
yes, I know.
But this is something positive, and I think she should be applauded.
Yes, she should be applauded, because I like the fact that you brought this perspective into it, because basically what Hilda is trying to project is the Nigerian can-do spirit.
Exactly.
The can-do spirit. We can do. And she's not alone in all of these. And I keep saying it. Nigerians have the most educated diaspora community in the whole of the United States, in Canada and in the US. And some people, the chairman of this organization once went to the United States of America, and I think it was in a beach and all of that. He got into a discussion with a white man, and the white man said, "Where are you from?" And he said, "I'm Nigerian." And he said, "Oh, doctor." He said, "No, I'm not a doctor." That was before he got his PhD. He said, "No, I'm not a doctor." He said, "No, you're a doctor. Every Nigerian I know is a doctor." And it's common. A high number of Nigerians, high percentage of Nigerians in the United States get up to the education, they get up to the PhD level, So we are known for that. There's this can-do spirit, But the problem we have is, why is it difficult to translate all of that into active participation in progress of our fatherland? That is the big question. What is holding us back?
Yeah, that's the big question. What is holding us back? Some would say governance. As a people, we like to strive. We like to strive as a people. We like to make things happen. But somewhere along the line, we just portray ourselves in negative light, and we get it wrong. And of course, we've said it time and time again that leadership has been a problem. And until we're able to fix that.
Until we're able to fix that. And one unfortunate thing is that the thing we are talking is just 0.05%, less than that, of the entire population.
Of the
entire population. Because there was this lady that was talking about, why a certain group of people have been stereotyped as killers and all of that. And it's just a minute percentage of that population. If you get into that community, you see very well-meaning people, good people.
Negatives just seem to overshadow every other good
thing. More like stereotypes.
Exactly, stereotypes.
And it's a very bad thing. Nigerians are very good people, very loving, very supportive of one another.
Of course.
But because just a class, the political class, they are the ones that paint us bad and all of that. And it's quite unfortunate.
Quite unfortunate. Now, going back to Hilda Bassi's issue, now, why some were supporting, a lot of Nigerians went out there to get the food. I mean, she cooked 200 bags. Okay. 200 bags of rice. 200 bags, that's a lot.
I'm still trying to wrap it around my bag.
That's a lot.
25 or 50 kg.
I think it was 50 kg.
50 kg.
200, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. And then that's a picture of it. The gigantic pot. And of course, they had long spoons to turn. Now, the annoying part in all of this is, after some people have gone to eat out of this, to beg, some people went to beg, please give us food. I saw a picture of some people. Some Nigerians went on social media, just saying it wasn't even tasting nice. Some said it tasted nice. Some said it didn't taste nice. Some said, oh, there was no meat. Some said, oh, different things. And I just started wondering, this is somebody who is trying to feed the nation, as it were, without asking for anything in return. We know when our politicians give you, it's because they want something back. They're not just giving freely. They're giving to take either your votes or take your conscience or take something. But this individual just gave, In fact, to the point where she and her team went to the streets begging people to eat. Just take food and eat. In this day and age, this day and time, you have somebody giving you food. This is a time where, have you noticed that people don't visit friends anymore? Families don't visit each other anymore because nobody wants to go, or nobody wants you to come and eat their food in the house. People portion their food these days. You go to people's houses and say, oh, we've had lunch already before you came. And they open the fridge and you look and you see plates of food. And, if the person is close enough to you, the person will be bold enough to say, oh, that's portion for tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, and the day after, so they can't take out of it. These are the times that we are in. But anyway, a good one there from Hilda Bassi. We hear that, away from Hilda Bassi's, issues now, conversation, we hear that headline inflation has dropped. Right now, it has dropped, but food prices are still high and gradually coming down. That's statistics from the government, but we do hope that things will get better. And by the way, the president will be returning today, cutting short his vacation. Oh well, all of that we'll get to discuss on the program this morning. Now, away from that conversation, a wave of public anger has trailed the decision of Jafar Abubakar, an All Progressive Congress lawmaker from Adamawa State, who distributed the sum of 224 million naira in cash. That's the word there, in cash, to youths and his childhood friends. That's the total sum of the monies that he distributed. The House of Representative member is of Mubi North, Mubi South, and Meha Federal Constituency. Now, he was reported to have handed out 124 million naira to empower youths in his community, and another 100 million naira to some of his longtime friends, those he described as not doing well. I'm just imagining. Let's say he has about 10 friends. 10 friends. That's how much. That's how much each person. That's 10 million.
10
each
million,
person.
yes, each person.
10 million. If he has 20 friends, that's like 5 million. Good money given out there. But we're talking about cash. Now, eyewitnesses said the money was withdrawn in mint notes from a commercial bank and then shared directly with selected beneficiaries. Now, there's a policy against huge cash withdrawals like that. I think individuals cannot go beyond, is it 500? How much is that again? 20, is it 20 million? 500,000. I think individuals cannot withdraw more than 500,000.
No, it depends on how you how your bank sets your withdrawal limit.
Okay, and then companies.
But I think it has to do with lodgement.
Okay.
It has to do with lodgement.
But this is against the money laundering policy. This is huge sums of money being distributed cash. Where did he get it from?
From the bank.
Which bank will give you that much?
They even gave him mint.
Much.
They even gave him mint.
All at once.
I'm not sure that he got it all at once.
Okay.
I'm not sure that he got it all at once, but the information out there is that he got it from the bank and mint, as a matter of fact. So in all of this, I want to tie it with what you said earlier during the Hilda Bassi intervention. Hilda gave, for the love of giving. But when politicians give, what do they give for something in return? you know, and so we see all of this happen. This man has even done better than a lot more people, you know, in his class, politicians, who will buy stuff, we house them, keep them in their houses. We have also seen people, when federal government gives out palliatives to states, governors will collect them and give out to their commissioners to share. The commissioners will keep stock, take these things, keep in their houses, and give to their cronies when they are not sharing to party loyalists and all of that. That's exactly what happens. So, as a matter of fact, some people will even laud this man that what he has done is laudable. But the bigger question is, why don't you now put this thing into some kind of how can I'm looking for an appropriate word now, some kind of engagement that will make it possible for the people to keep fending for themselves, like he did to 10 of his friends that got 10 million naira each. Those people eventually.
I'm just assuming that they are 10.
No, they said okay, assuming that they are 10, but he gave out money to his very close friends.
Yes.
So they are probably going to invest all of that money.
Probably.
Invest all of that money. You give some people money, they will also go and blow the money.
Squander it, yes.
You know, and squander it. But it's a good thing that, but what if he had used it to empower people? Okay, what I mean by empowerment is that build something in society that will benefit everybody at one time. You know, but if you ask me, it's a good thing. I don't know why people have a problem with it.
Oh, I have a problem with it.
Okay,
well, this is a politician. How much is he earning? How much is his earning?
He's shrouded in secrecy.
Now that's a problem.
Now, do you know the background of the man? Do you know where he's coming from? Do you know if he was wealthy before he got into politics?
He's a politician.
Do you know if he was wealthy before he got into politics?
He's a politician. He's being paid with public funds.
Okay.
He's been paid public funds. He's been paid with public funds, and some people look up to him. All right. So we see him showing off this kind of money. What do you think other Nigerians who are working hard to make a living will think? And then we still have the same politicians asking for an increase in their take-home, their salaries. They're still asking for an increase. Are you joking? The optics looks bad. The act might be good. I mean, yes, you gave out to a few people. We don't know if they are those loyal to your party or not. I'm not even going to talk about that. But the optics, you're sharing money. You're a public servant. You're a public servant. You're sharing money, this magnitude of money. Where did you get it from? Shouldn't EFCC start to question, even if you had, wealth, you were born into wealth, you should be able to explain where you got this one from. He should be able to explain this. And then, anyway, it's only in Nigeria that things like this will happen, and people will get away with it. I would think that the relevant agencies, EFCC, ICPC, should look into this and ask him questions. I'm not saying take him in or anything, but ask him questions.
Where he got the money
from? Is this your constituency project money?
Okay.
We know they get a lot of money. We hear they get to the tune of 1 billion.
Some
each.
2.
Some 2.
Some 2 billion.
Is this part of it?
Depending on which side you belong.
Yes, and if it's your constituency project, the money, the people you have given, are they all in your constituency? Are they all your constituency? Will the other people in your constituency, those that do not even belong to your party, are they beneficiaries of this? Those that are not your friends, are they beneficiaries of this as well? These are the questions that should be asked.
Oh, well, let's see what goes. Let's see how it goes, because, but if you ask me, I think the man didn't keep the money to himself. We see some of them use these monies, to fend themselves, buy personal things, and not even remember the people that they went to represent. But like you said, let's see how it goes. Now, let's get into another interesting story. Now, the presidency has reacted to the new report from the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, showing that Nigeria's inflation rate has dropped for the 5th month in a row. Well, Special Assistant to the President on Policy Coordination, Daniel Bwala, in reaction to the news said that the government's reforms are manifesting. But according to the NBS, headline inflation is to 20.12%, in August, down from 21.88% in July. On a month-on-month basis, the rate stood at 0.74%, marking a slowdown compared to the previous months. Despite the overall moderation, food prices continue to climb, with food inflation rising by 1.65% month-on-month, underscoring persistent pressure on households. Since 2023, the president has pursued sweeping reforms, including fuel subsidy removal and the floating of the naira. While policies that have been widely criticized for deepening hardship, the government, however, maintains that the short-term pains are necessary for long-term stability. Well, it's good that we are hearing this from the National Bureau of Statistics. Good news, if you ask me, inflation has dropped from 0 to 0 by 0.7%. It speaks to how the impact for the policies of the president are becoming. I think it's minimal, but let's see how it affects the price of food items in the market, yam, and but don't also forget that we are in a farming season. We are in a farming season where this is harvest season. There is food. The people that manage to go to farm and all of that, this is harvest season. So, and it goes back to speak to the economic principles of the more goods you have, the cheaper they become and all of that. When you have few money, chasing few more goods, inflation drops. So we can understand all of this within the context of economics.
Oh, well. Let's run to the papers now. Let's look at what stories made it to the cover pages of the dailies. We do have some Daily Independent and the Punch newspaper and other dailies right here. So I'm going to start off with Daily Independent very quickly. The big story here. APC National Chairman yet to resign as Minister 53 days after. APC National Chairman yet to resign as Minister 53 days after. Action illegal. INEC shouldn't recognize him. Adigborua. His failure to resign, breach of Nigeria's constitution. Wolfer. And then the window headlines. We have ended 50 years of fuel queues in Nigeria. Dangote Refinery. Court denies Nnamdi Kanu's transfer request to hospital for treatment. And also, NAS clerk distances self from Natasha's resumption ordeal. Nigeria's inflation falls for fifth straight month. Boosts hope of rate cuts. PDP, Atiku tackle Tinubu over early campaigns. Hunger. Party ask him to stop shopping for endorsement. To sign Tinubu, no sign Tinubu is capable of addressing hunger. Atiku, talk is cheap. Atiku out of touch with reality. Presidency. I like the way they're going at each other. INEC records over 4.4 million online voter pre-registration in 4 weeks. All right, I'm having my thoughts about this. With Lagos and Borno having the most registration. Railways key to economic growth. Connectivity, says Tinubu. Cuts short vacation, returns today. Well, those are the headlines on the cover page of the Daily Independent.
Now, let's quickly run through the first daily. Beside the nameplate you have, hospitals on the brink. FCT doctors begin indefinite strike. That's coming from the first daily newspaper. With the rider, nation's capital faces health crisis as talks with FG collapse. The window headlines, Hilda Bassi breaks Guinness record with world's largest jollof serving. Kanu's bid for urgent medical care stalls. Case sent back to Chief Judge. Now the big story, hunger war. Article hits Tinubu government. Presidency fires back. Ex-VP insists Nigerians starving. Asorok says economy improving. Well, my word against theirs, your word against mine. Oh well, only Senate can decide Natasha's resumption, NAS clerk clarifies. Over 4 million pre-registered, 510,000 new voters completed. That's coming from INEC. Dangote rolls out 4,000 CNG trucks, denies monopoly claims. Trump's hint at TikTok deal in US-China talks. And the bottom strip headline, don't provoke bandits. Gumi warns Nigerians. That's it from the first daily newspaper.
And that's how far we can go on newspaper headlines. But join us again at 10 o'clock for newspaper review, where we go deeper into the headlines. Now, let's get into our first story for today. PDP warns INEC against BVAS glitches in 2027 election, seeks legal backing for electronic transmission of results. Let's talk about this. Join us again.
In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe. Hunger no get religion.
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television. Don't just react, understand. Good morning. It's the start of a beautiful day. Or start your day right with a healthy dose of news, fun, and inspiration. Join us on VOP this morning for the latest news, trending topics, and uplifting stories to set your day on the right vibe. From news and current events to lifestyle and entertainment, you are covered.
VOP This Morning, 8 a.m., Monday through Friday.
In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest,
hello there, welcome back, and thanks for staying with us. And if you are just joining us now, this is VOP This Morning on Voice of the People Television. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, has warned the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, against any attempt to manipulate the 2027 elections. PDP National Publicity Secretary Debo Ologo-Abwa said Nigerians will not accept excuses of technical glitches in the bimodal voter accreditation system, BVAS. While speaking at a press briefing in Abuja on Monday, Ologo-Abwa said the PDP will lead the charge to ensure a transparent and credible process. He accused President Bola Tinubu and the All Progressives Congress, APC, of endorsement shopping out of fear of PDP's renewed strength ahead of the polls. While the PDP spokesperson said the APC was sustaining a pyramid of lies, adding that the government has failed to translate promises into meaningful improvements in the lives of Nigerians. Ologo-Abwa said the credibility of the 2027 election will depend on INEC's ability to transmit results from polling units in real time. Well, joining us to discuss these issues, we have in the studio here with us Prince Francis Chilaka. He is a public affairs analyst. And also joining us from our Oka House station, we have Honorable Clem Agui. He's a lawyer, political and social affairs analyst, and former chairman in Njikoka local government area in Anambra State. We also have from Abuja, Mr. Patrick Ohifemi. He's a political affairs and good governance advocate. Good morning, gentlemen, and thanks for being part of this show.
Good morning.
Good morning, the Prince.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Clem. Good morning, Patrick. Good to have you on the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, beautiful. Now, let me start with you in the studio here, Prince. PDP is saying the BVAS stuff, we don't want to hear about glitches, so you have to make it legal to the extent that it is moved from, you know what happened last time, from guidelines. From guidelines. And the question I want to ask you is, if you remove it from guidelines, INEC guidelines, INEC came out to say, well, it's our discretion, it's discretionary, we can decide to, or to use or not to use it. Now, when you move it from that guideline and make it a law that is actionable so that someone can sue, INEC can also sue, you know, will that take care of the glitches? I thought the whole thing was about technicals. What has the law got to do with it? How is that going to help us?
Let me start by asking PDP, are they seriously an opposition? Do they even understand what opposition is all about? You just have people gather themselves, calling themselves PDP. There is no PDP. PDP no longer exists as a political party. Talking about an opposition. So anytime you see people gather to talk as PDP, you ask yourself, are they speaking as a real opposition? If you want to understand what opposition means, in 2013, 2014, when APC came as a political party, you had a man who was spitting fire every day, Lai Mohammed, who was the National Publicity Secretary of APC then. You saw the way the man tore Jonathan apart at every opportunity. He was actually the one who called Jonathan a clueless president. So what are we talking about? You see people on the street saying, we want electoral reform. We want a new, system that works, that allows Nigerians to vote, and their votes get counted, and they go home happy. Have you heard PDP come out boldly to say, we want electoral reform?
Yeah, but that's what they're saying.
No, that's not how to say it as a political party in opposition.
Okay.
When APC felt that they were losing ground, what did they do? They went on protest. You don't need to tell government you want to protest. No. We all know that people have been advocating for electoral reform. And the government has, kept a deaf ear. So what is PDP saying now that is different from what has been happening? What are they saying that is different? How do you want anybody in Nigeria today to take people who gather themselves as PDP seriously? Nobody will take them seriously. Not a PDP that is decimated by Wike. Not a PDP that don't even understand their left from their right.
Okay.
So for me, anybody who comes out and says, oh, PDP, what is PDP's problem if the APC decides to adopt a candidate? It's not their business.
Okay.
What I want PDP to do, if they're serious as an opposition party, is to do what an opposition does. Look at the governance structure of this administration. Look at the policies of this administration. Begin to break them down one by one. That we will know they're in opposition.
Okay. All right. Now, the prince in the studio here feels that PDP is not doing enough as an opposition party. Well, let's acknowledge the presence of Mr. Judy Dimogu. He's a political affairs analyst, and he has just joined us virtually. Good morning, Judy Dimogu, and good to have you on the show.
Yeah, good morning from here. Good morning.
Judy,
how are you?
Good to have you. We appreciate your presence. Now, I'd like for us to go to Oka, where we have Honorable Clem Agu. He's a lawyer, and we would like to get a legal perspective to what PDP is asking for. Clems, you understand what happened, in 2023 after the election when the beavers failed and people went to court challenging it, and they came out to say, oh, sorry, it's not a law, it's just guidelines, and it is discretionary. We are at liberty to use or not to use the beavers, Now, PDP has said, we want the National Assembly to capture it, want it codified in our law books as beavers must be used for the conduct of elections going forward, beginning from 2027. Now, the question I'll ask is, how do you think, is there a possibility, do you think that moving that clause from the guideline to the legal imprint will do anything better? And again, what has law got to do with technicalities? If it is a law in our law books and the networks are not working that day, how are we going to untie all the knots around that issue?
Thank you very much for that very question. And I have to appreciate the last speaker that spoke about PDP not being very serious as an opposition party. And I believe it is the political parties that actually will make this democracy to work. As it is in the interest of Nigeria, not just the opposition party, all the political parties, to safeguard this democracy. And that is why electoral reforms is very, very important if we are going to get to 2027 right. There's a very big difference between an administrative guideline issued by INEC and a constitutional matter. If this becomes law, an act of National Assembly that beavers can't, assuming that we have confidence in the technology, it means that we have to use the technology as provided by the law. When they fail to do that, then you can invoke the law. Because if you look at the fact that there were glitches, the problem was not that there were glitches. The court said, because this is an administrative law, it can only be decided by INEC whether they want to use it or not. So if they don't use it, you cannot actually use it to say that I'm not substantially conformed with the electoral guideline. But when it becomes law, it becomes an issue of the law that you did not use it. You say you have technical glitches. That means you have to go back when the glitches are no longer there to go and do the right thing by using beavers and using technology to make sure that these results are uploaded in real time of voting. The law will help to strengthen the system, but PDP should go beyond rhetorics, beyond words, beyond saying, oh, one this done. They are deceiving themselves. You have to take action. They have members of PDP, the National Assembly. They should be able to sit down with them and also couple up a legislation that will make this work. Let their members go and push it. Let it be that it failed. And I'm sure there are also people of conscience that are in the National Assembly, that are even the other parties, that will say, you know what, we want this to work. Because even then, they're in jeopardy. Because if they don't support the government of the day, they may be taken off from their seat because the votes are not counting. Every politician that is what he sought in Nigeria should be able to make sure that he's on the side of transparency and accountability in the conduct of our election. The law is very, very important if it can be achieved. But the issue now is who will bear the cut. Is PDP ready to bring out their lobby, to bring out their members, to bring out the funding that will arise in civil society to back a legislation, energize it to be able to achieve this end of using technology?
As a people, are we not putting this on the shoulder of PDP? Is it not an aberration? I mean, this involves all Nigerians, and I know certain civil society groups, like Yaga Africa, he has spoken about this, a lot of times about this. Is this not the responsibility of the entire Nigerian population? Shouldn't we have CSOs championing this as against political parties? Wouldn't that make it more effective?
Uche, I'll tell you something.
Moses, please.
You're talking to Clem responding, right?
Yes, my name is Moses.
Moses, yes. I'll tell you something. Making the political system work is not the job of the entire people of the country. How many Nigerians are involved in politics? And even if all Nigerians are involved in politics, there are a hierarchy of interest. My interest in politics differs very much from the interest of the political party that's coupled themselves together to be able to contest election and win election. The political parties in Nigeria have not been living up to expectation. I will tell you one. Voters drive to register should be the job of political parties, not even the job of INEC. If you want voters to vote, you go and drive out the voters that will come and register to vote for you. That's how it works. If you want this system to change, it is the political parties that will start, then people will join. The political parties that are interested in winning an election cannot sit down like PDP, where Wike is what controlling PDP, and is telling you in your face, you cannot contest presidential election 2027. I'm going to work against you. And the same Wike is telling you who will contest the PDP and who will not contest. He's telling you where to zone your power and where not to zone. And he has told you already, me, Wike, I am interested in Tinubu winning 2027, not PDP. Maybe after 2027, PDP can now begin to get itself together. This is what PDP has become. Okay. So you ask yourself, people that gathered and say that PDP said, which PDP? Is it Wike PDP or this other PDP that have lost control of the party? That is the issue that is in question. That is why somebody said PDP is dead. The Wike is an undertaker in PDP, and he has destroyed the party. There's nothing like PDP anymore. In my own state, Anambra State, we are going to have governorship election in November 8th. PDP is literally unavailable for that country.
Honorable
this used to be, and it used to be a PDP state where PDP, if they don't come first, they come second. Now, I can't even talk about PDP coming fourth. PDP is just, I don't like talking about PDP because it's not broken. We look at the National Party that produced two presidents.
I would have loved to talk about the role of the judiciary in all of this, but because I know you're a player in that industry as well as a lawyer. But let's take this conversation to Abuja, where we have Patrick Ohifeme, who's standing by. Let's get your broad overview of this clamor for making the beavers more effective, taking care of glitches ahead of 2027 election. And what do you think? What are the measures that INEC should put in place to ensure that this is done? Well, you might need to unmute your microphone, Mr. Patrick Ohifeme. All right. Well, I guess there's a mix-up somewhere because I thought he had joined the conversation. But let's take this conversation to a former lawmaker, Jude Idumogu, who is a former member, Lagos State House of Assembly, representing Oshodi Solo Constituency 2. Good morning to you once again. Welcome to the conversation. Now, talking about glitches, and I would like for us to talk about vote buying and vote selling. That's the angle I would like us to get into, since you're talking about elections and having credible elections, basically. What can Nigerians do to put a stop? Can Nigerians even put a stop to the issue of vote buying, seeing that political actors, especially those with deep pockets, are the ones that entice the people with monies?
Well, thank you for the opportunity. Can you hear me?
Yes, very clearly too. Go ahead.
Okay. The issue of vote buying and vote selling, as long as of today in Nigeria, I don't think it can be stopped. Because the reason is, like some of your discussants have already said, every good political party or candidates contesting an election in a political party wants to win an election. And with the economic situation of the country as of today, going forward, there's no way you offer anything to maybe the electorate or whoever the voters that they will not collect. Sincerely, that's just the truth. And politics is Nigeria. If you don't have good money, and not just having good money, willing to spend that money to win an election, it cannot work.
It cannot work. But somebody in the last election, which of course you know, said he wasn't interested in giving monies. But we saw, the outpouring of support towards that individual.
I guess whoever you are talking about at the presidential level, right?
Yes, please.
Yeah, but what happened at the end of the day? Was he willing to play the ball fully? That's the issue. He was not willing to play the ball. Yes, the people giving him support, but there is a role he's supposed to play in Nigerian contest, which he refused to play.
Which role is that, please?
Is it?
What is that role? Tell us about that role that he was supposed to play. I thought it was the people that determines who gets in there. So if the people supported him,
was that you have an arbiter, which is INEC. What role did you play with INEC? That's it now.
Should he have given INEC money too?
Huh?
Should he have given INEC money?
Of course, if you really want to win, you would have done it. Okay. Because you cannot, because INEC is also a human being. INEC is not a machine. They are all Nigerians. If I'm contesting with you and you are giving money, and I know my opponent is giving money, and I know INEC is collecting it, and if I'm serious, I also give INEC money.
Okay. I'm sorry, but I mean, you
want them to declare you winner. It's not possible.
Did you give INEC officials money before you got into the Lagos State House of the State House of Assembly in Lagos?
There is no way I will not spend money. Let me tell you the truth. There is no way. I'm not a cent in the system. When I know my opponent are also giving that. Of course, if you want a balance, you cannot keep quiet because the INEC people are also Nigerians.
But we have a situation that in Ghana, I mean, the hardship in Nigeria, Ghanaians, neighboring country, are also experiencing about the same thing, or we're experiencing about the same thing before their last presidential election. And we saw, from videos that we saw, politicians in Ghana try to induce the people by giving them bags of rice and money, and the people turned it down. The people said, look, we don't want this. We don't want your money. We don't. They turned it down in Ghana. What is the difference? Is it because of hunger and poverty in the land, or are we just a greedy set of people?
Well, greed is part of it. The population of Nigeria is also part of it. Compared to the population of Ghana, you can't compare. Then the sentiment in Nigeria also is a problem. The religion itself play a lot of part. That's the problem in Nigeria. These are greed, religion, sentiment, and when you look at our total population, that's the problem. If Mr. A is from certain part of the country, of course, there are people who want him. So they want to play that role to ensure that the person comes out as winner. So you cannot compare Ghana and Nigeria. That is just the thing. So with that and the system we operate, don't forget, why I don't even blame INEC so much is that, like I said, INEC is also being manned by Nigerians. Who is the head of INEC? How disciplined is that person? Yes, you can find one or two people that are incorruptible in Nigeria. I'm not saying all of them are corrupt. But the issue is that when the system is where you have, okay, for now, even the police are supposed to, you don't pay police well. What do you want police to do? How many police officers are supposed to man the area, or even check the law, or even ensure that the law is well executed in Nigeria? How many are they? How much are you paying them? An angry man is an angry man.
Okay.
Let's face this fact. So if we want the system to be good from day one, even those people involved, like police and other agencies, ensure that you pay them well.
Okay.
Even the INEC staff you are talking about, do they pay them well? So if they see it's an opportunity to make money from the politicians.
Okay.
And they believe that when they know that the politicians, when they get into power, they may not look at their face again. So they want to grab whatever that is all reality in Nigeria as of today.
All right, then. All right, thank you very much, Honorable Jude. Let me bring you back to you, Prince Francis Chilaka.
Yes,
you are an obedient. Yes, you've been shaking your head in disagreements. That's what it seems like to me.
Not really disagreement.
Okay.
Just shocked. You know, when the political class misbehaves in Nigeria, they look for excuses. They look for who to dump their silly behavior attitudes on. I mean, this is a former House of Assembly member. You weaponize poverty. You weaponize hunger. And then when you get elected, what do you do? Why don't you change that system when you have that power? And then when you leave power, all your eyes open. You begin to see the things you got beclouded of initially. So politicians in Nigeria must take responsibility for their actions.
Let's digress a little. Earlier on in the day, when we were having a conversation, Chukuma and I, we talked about one Jafar Abubakar who gave out 224 million naira to his friends and some youths in his constituents. Is that empowering the constituents? Is that some sort of what would you make of that?
First and foremost, I saw that news. First and foremost, the man needs to be invited by EFCC. He needs to be
Is
questioned.
that weaponizing poverty?
No. Before I talk about the weaponization,
okay,
it has to be investigated. Is that why he got elected? Where did he raise such a money from?
Probably his constituency projects. Probably.
Constituency project means structure. It means you must build something.
Did the law capture it as
you see
like that?
The problem The problem we have in this country is that we always want to make excuses for inanities. And because of the fact that we have become this docile, we have accepted palliative as a way of life. So we don't care whether the school system is working. We don't care whether the health system is working. The only thing we care about is that somebody is dashing you money. Just like the men of God will tell you, go and sleep. I saw where somebody was saying, you're going to have a miracle envelope. I mean, when will we wake up from sleep and face the reality? When will we smell the coffee while it's still hot? Why is it that our political class, our religious leaders, they are the ones pushing this country down, and then they wake up and say, oh, Nigerian youths are docile. Nigerian youths are not doing this.
Now,
there are better things that money would have done.
Okay.
Do you know how many small cottage industries that money has spent giving people for free would have built, and how much that would have extended by, ensuring that it grows and other people will benefit out of it.
So you don't see that as empowerment?
No. It's not empowerment. Because such money is
like seed money. Seed money for people to invest in business.
Mr. Okoro, people don't invest such money. I know that for sure. People never. You don't invest what you didn't work hard for.
Okay.
Look at the young boys who are doing Yahoo. What investments do they have?
Oh, some of them do.
The investments they have is going to hotels, going to nightclubs. Free money is never invested.
Okay. Let's bring Patrick Ohifeme into the conversation. I'm being told that he has joined the conversation. He's a political activist and a good governance advocate. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you.
All right. Well, I do believe you've been following the conversation. We're talking about having credible elections without glitches, and also the role of the electorate in all of this, and the fact that some politicians have weaponized poverty. What would you say? Give us your broad overview and your proposal for how to do it better.
Okay. Now, firstly, I believe strongly that we cannot run away from reality. And the reality today is that a lot of Nigerians are not politically educated. Because if the Nigerian people know the power of the people, then they will know that the power in the people is more than the power of those in government. That's one. Secondly, the level of poverty also has a great role to play in what goes on with elections in Nigeria. Now, take a look at the 2023 election, or take a look at any election in Nigeria and ask yourself, now, those who vote, based on issues like, okay, this candidate, I'm voting for him because he's going to give free education, free healthcare, and all of that. What is the percentage of the population? Okay? Now, you ask, those who vote because of religious preferences, what exactly population? Now, those who vote because of the love for a particular party, they have their population. And then those who vote because of money. My fear is that in 2027, I foresee a situation where vote buying is going to get to its highest. Recently, we saw the elections, the by-elections around. That is just a test case to show us what lies ahead. And unfortunately, we see a situation where the security agencies do not really help. Now, we can continue to lament and lament, but what exactly can we do about this? The reality is that the Nigerian opposition needs to wake up. They've been sleeping. They need to wake up. I need to say this on air. I do not see a reason or any reason why an Atiku that got almost 7 million votes in the last election cannot be on the streets to say this particular policy is unacceptable. I do not see a reason why a Mr. Peter Obi with great followership cannot be on the streets with his supporters to say, look, this particular policy of government is unacceptable. We saw this in the past.
You don't expect them to be on the streets at this time because it's not time for campaigning yet, don't you think? I mean, they're speaking on the pages of newspapers. They're condemning some things that the government is doing, but I'm sure you don't expect them to start doing some sort of campaign at this time.
Mr. Okoro, my name is Patrick Ohifeme. I'm a Nigerian. I expect any Nigerian that is displeased with a government policy to assemble peacefully, because the Constitution guarantees freedom of assembly and freedom of expression. And another thing you need to take note of, sir, is that, increasingly, Nigerians, we need to engage, because when they do not see you, typing, issuing press statements will not cut it. We need to sweat out. We need to be on the streets peacefully. There are clear demands that citizens can make, and then it will be loud and clear.
Okay.
We do not just get to a level just by, playing along. No. We saw the opposition on the streets in the past. Look, we're discussing elections. Now, look at the last election and the glitch that, has not been explained till date. Now, that happened and a lot of Nigerians are completely demoralized. Are you looking at the voter apathy against 2027? Because people have lost confidence in the electoral process. And the only way to restore it is when people see that the opposition are making, efforts. Statements alone cannot actually do the needful, in my view.
All right, then. Well, thank you very much, Patrick Ohifeme. He said statements alone cannot do it. Well, let's get into another conversation now. We'd like you gentlemen to stay with us as we get into another conversation. We hear Nicholas Ukachukwu has blamed Chukwuma Soludo for orchestrating a mob attack, and then he also petitions police. Let's talk about this when we come back. Join us again. Well, thanks for joining us again. Now, All Progressives Congress governorship candidate in Anambra State, Nicholas Ukachukwu, has accused Governor Chukwuma Soludo of masterminding a mob confrontation against him in Abuja, describing it as a sponsored attack meant to smear his image ahead of the 2025 election. The incident occurred on Sunday at the Transcorp Hilton Hotel, where a mob blocked Ukachukwu as he attempted to leave. Oh well, we do have he has hinged all of this. Well, that's the video of the incident on your screen. Well, he's accused the governor of being the sponsor of this attack on his person. We still have with us Prince Francis Chilaka, who is with us in the studio. We have Jude Idumogu, who is a former member, Lagos State House of Assembly, representing Oshodi Solo Constituency 2. We have Honorable Clem Agui, lawyer, political and social affairs analyst, former chairman in Jikoka LGA in Anambra State. And also, from Abuja, Patrick Ohifeme, a political activist, good governance advocate. Well, let's start off with Honorable Clem in Anambra. Honorable Clem, accusations and counter-accusations flying around. This is, what do you make of this, really?
Well, first of all, let me express my regrets on the mudslinging and counter accusations in Anambra State governorship election campaign trail, I think we should rather focus on issue-based politics in Anambra State, because all these counter-acquisitions actually distract from the main issue that matters to the people. But then, again, there's an adage in my place that a chicken left who cut his throat and went into the pot and was twisting the throat, the neck, in anger to the knife that cut his throat. I think it's a matter of mischief for Mr. Okachukwu to say it is the governor that orchestrated his being accused by people that claim that he's owing them. People that came to accuse him or encounter him, we are not marksmen. First, we are open. If you are not owing them, and they came to say that you are owing them and gave you what I will consider a public shame, you sue them to court. You drag them, you get them arrested and sue them to court. Then they come and prove how they are owing you. And also a coalition of NGOs has come out publicly yesterday or 2 days to issue press conference on the side of the people that claim that they bought land from him and paid for the money for the past 3 years. They have neither been given the land or they have been given, neither have they getting their money back. And these are the people that encountered him at the airport, knowing that they don't have access to his house. The same Nicholas Okachukwu, some years ago, had somebody that came in front of his gate and undressed himself naked, a man, a full-grown man with family, and undressed himself naked and accused him of owing him and that he must pay him. So I think he has to deal with his relationship with people, especially when you get into your business transaction. Okay. The opponent in politics have every right to research on you and get what they will call it opponent research.
All right.
Just like you are researching on your own SWOT analysis, your opponent will also research on you and your antecedents.
All right, Clemens, let me stay with you. Let me stay with you because we have a lot of grounds to cover. Now, you are there in Anambra, I guess, and how do you think this will affect the ambition of Nicholas Okachukwu? What is the feel of if you walk through the streets of Anambra, what do you feel? What's people's reaction about this video trending and the other one that you just made reference to? How do you think this will impact his ambition by November 8, 2025? Not trying to preempt anything. We are just holding a conversation anyway.
I can preempt things. Okay. First of all, the governor of Anambra said the incumbent governor is almost like 60 or 70% ahead in this campaign. Every incumbent actually has about 50%. If you have worked, it gives you an extra edge of maybe 20%, 70%. Other people are doing catch up. And if you are having negative campaign against you, it also plays a role. It may not play a significant role, but of course, people will now become concerned about you. If you are owing people this much and do you want to use the state resources to settle your debt? People ask that question. And very conscious people will. Some people will also say that this is not part of what we want to do here in politics. This is his private business and private life. Some people will say that. But I think all this thing that is happening in Anambra, apart from this one of Okachukwu, he's not doing anybody he's not doing any of the candidates any significant good. Because people have taken positions, and most of this is coming up, could play one role or the other, but are people going to ask questions and scrutinize?
Ask questions and scrutinize. Yes, thank you very much. Ask questions and scrutinize. Now, we see a lot coming out from Anambra between the governor and the Uche Kunife and all of that. Well, Prince, let me come back to you in the studio here. What's your reaction to the allegation by Okachukwu that, look, it's the governor that is behind all of these? What's your broad reaction to everything?
I would like to start from a different trajectory right now.
Beautiful.
And I'll say that Anambra today has found itself in a quagmire.
Quagmire?
Yes.
Okay.
You have a governor who is not performing, who is just busy. According to Anambra
because the other guy just said he's done much, like 50-70% ahead.
That's not what he said. He said, if you have worked, I heard him clearly.
No, but he said that.
For me, you have a governor who has been busy looking for who to fight with, looking for who to hold on to. He's like a man who is drowning, and anything he holds on to, he wants that thing to go down on one side. On the other side, you have an opposition that has, from what we're seeing, that has a lot of debt on his lifeline. So he's not seeing politics as a lifeline. He wants to see how he can get into power to be able to use the resources of Anambra people and pay all the debts he's owing. I had expected that by now, Charles Soludo would have given us a Dubai or a Taiwan in Anambra State. We're not saying that. There are no roads. Go to Anambra and find out. There are no roads. Nothing is working in Anambra. And you have a man who calls himself a professor. So, that is why I said I found myself in a quagmire. But, do you know who would have benefited more from all of this?
Who?
Would have been Valentine. He was lured to leave Labour Party and join APC with the promise of a better life, with the promise of a renewed hope. But he never got it.
Okay.
So, because what I'm saying this is, you see, we need to move from electing people, electing parties, to electing character.
Electing characters. Talking about character now, you said that probably Ukachukwu wants to get in and use the money of Anambra State to offset debt. Has it been confirmed that he's owing? Has it been confirmed?
Well, like that man said, we saw the video. The people who came to meet you, they put up a lot of posts on social media. They, you know, I think some of the mainstream media has also carried it.
Okay, so and
they are saying this is
not the work of each columnist.
No. The what they are saying is
like
clear.
Doxing, mock-raking, slinging, and all.
What they are saying is that we gave you money for land you didn't give to us, our money you didn't return. So this is, Ukachukwu has always been involved in such things. This is not the first time. When the other speaker was talking about a man who came to his house, I remember it was everywhere.
I remember seeing that.
You know,
has Ukachukwu been convicted by any court? Has anybody taken him to court and he was convicted? And
well, if you also watch that video, the man said he has not been able to meet him one-on-one. So how do you take somebody who's elusive? But the point is this: it's not about whether it is Governor Soludo or not. The point is, I've read the press release from his spokesman. He never came out to say Ukachukwu is not owing. All he said is that anybody who tries that again, they will not take it lightly. But the point is, are you owing people? That is the first thing you should address. So, for me, I still maintain it is time in Nigeria.
The spokesman directly accused the governor of
being the mastermind,
sponsoring a propaganda against Ukachukwu.
When you say sponsoring, Moses, if you're owing somebody 50,000 now, and the person comes to me to seek advice, and I tell the person, this is the best way to get your money, will I be the one sponsoring?
Oh, yes.
No, I will not be the one sponsoring. I'm just telling the person how to get his money.
Was it free advice?
Are you owing the person or not? So we must move away from electing people because we think they have money, we think they have name. We need to begin to elect character. The problem that has befallen Nigeria is that those who have held sway do not have character.
Okay. All right, Prince, let's go to a politician. Let's go to an active politician. Talking about Mr. Jude Idumogo. Mr. Idumogo, what do you see, what do you make out of what is happening between the incumbent and the contestant in Anambra State, all within the context of politics, within the realm of politics? Is that how you people roll as a politicians? Is it permissible? Hello, Mr. Idumogo, are you there?
But you might need to unmute your microphone because we can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, go ahead. Go ahead now.
See, an opponent who wants to contest election with an incumbent who is a governor, and you are owing people directly or indirectly. Of course, I must tell you, that's the best opportunity when they will give you what you call a public shame. Because whether it's directly from the governor or whoever that is sponsoring, the opposition person, you are the one that gave him opportunity to do that. Okay. Why are you see, before you come to the public office, sincerely, that is one challenge we need to know. You must ensure that mostly everything about you should be clean. I'm telling you, you can't be owing people and you say you are coming. Of course, that's the best opportunity that those people, your debtors will come after you because you will not want any public disgrace. And if you don't want any public disgrace, that's the best time they can come to you. And quietly you can settle them or talk to them in a quiet manner where the public will not know. But if you cannot manage your situation well, and you said you want to come and contest public office, and you have a sitting governor who has all the ability and agency and things that he can use to tackle you directly or indirectly, he will do it now. He will do it because he wants to shame you directly or indirectly, so that at the end of the public will know that you don't want that office.
All right. So, Mr. Dumogu, do you by any way think that the governor might have a hand in this?
Well, even if he has a hand, there's nothing wrong in that.
Okay.
Yes.
It's permissible.
Yes,
it's permissible in politics.
Yes.
Okay, because more like he who must come to equity must come with clean hands, right?
Exactly. Okay, that's just it.
Oh, it's good to hear all of us.
Okay, let's get back. Let's get to Mr. Patrick now. I beg your pardon, Mr. Ohifeme, Patrick Ohifeme. Patrick, now, would it be fair? It's interesting that Claire Maguyi reminded us of that video. I don't know if you saw it. I think it's that video should be more than 6 years now, quite a long time ago, where an individual, a grown man, stripped himself naked in front of the house of an individual, asking that, look, you should come pay me my money, pay him his money. To be honest, I didn't even know it was the same person. He's the same person as Ukachukwu, but he just brought that to our notice. Now, would it be fair? How does this play out for APC in the coming election, seeing that the candidate of the party is being accused of owing people and not paying, being accused of being a land grabber, whether or not this is sponsored or supported by the incumbent? How does this play out for the APC?
For me, I didn't get to watch this, video or even the one where, he was embarrassed at the Transcorp. But I'm happy that this is happening, because the time that, the electorates have, to get to know candidates better is before the election. But one would have hoped, and it would have been better if, most of our elections were actually 100% credible. Now, talking about the APC as a party, I think that one thing that we have noticed over time with, elections and and candidates is that somehow the best are edged out. They are thrown out of the race. It seems as if it is either the money bags or those who are favored by the godfathers. If we look at the history of Anambra, we remember the case of Ngige. We know how, the whole kidnapping. So, and coincidentally, Anambra elections in Nigeria, I think, is about the most contested, very highly contested. So any man that has skeletons in his cupboard should be very, very sure that, everything about him or her is going to be put out in the public, especially the governorship election. Nobody leaves any stone unturned. For me, I think the APC needs to learn from the PDP. When PDP was in power for 16 years, they said they were going to rule the country for 60 years. They had their internal wranglings. There were complaints about vote rigging up to the time that a former president, may so rest in peace, Umaru Yar'Adua, had to admit that the process that brought him into office was far from credible. Now we see the same mistakes that the PDP made in the past playing out again in the APC. APC is not taking electoral reforms very seriously. They are not taking internal party democracy very seriously. Even the candidate process, the whole delegate list, direct, indirect, and all of that, these things are not clearly defined. They are defined by the whims and caprices of strong men, and that cannot build any enduring political party. If a party was fully functional, a background check would be done on the character of their candidates. That is part of the duty of the party. But what we find in Nigeria is that whoever is available is given the ticket. Whoever is favored from the top is favored and then anointed to go and contest. If you ask me, I do not see how rational people, poor people, would go out there. If I'm an Umbrarian, I cannot imagine myself going out there to vote for somebody that is a debtor. Now, if somebody had to take off their clothes, a grown man, in front of somebody's house, it means that that person has exhausted every means, and that person could even be, on the verge of suicide. So for me, if I look at it from that prism, I do not think there's anything I personally would want to be happy about such an occurrence. That's my view.
All right then. Thank you very much. But I was going to just ask you, about political party. Well, let me bring it to you now, Prince Francis. Political parties talking about fact checking, looking at the representative of the parties, their character and everything. Do we do that in Nigeria?
No. The parties are more interested in winning election.
They're more interested in the nomination forms.
No. Apart from the nomination form, they are more interested in winning. And so they go for a candidate they believe that will win, whether the candidate has character or not. So it's not about the integrity of that person anymore. Severally, you've seen where political parties have thrown up candidates that, with serious questionable character, serious lack of integrity and all of that. But the parties are not bothered because the parties know that, if I use Okoro and put him forward, Okoro may be a hustler. Okoro may be one who can bulldozer his way everywhere. So with Okoro, we win the election. So we don't care. We don't want to know. And those who sponsor behind, from the back, those who sponsor candidates too, they are looking at their investment. They're not looking at the future of the state or the future of the country. So it's all about what they're invested in, what they're going to get at, and then they look for somebody they can subdue at the end of the day.
Okay. So you chose to use Okoro as your because of his face, or what?
No, but you see, we need to, I keep saying it, Nigerians need to wake up. We need to move away from electing people based on tribe, based on religion, based on friendship. We must elect people who have integrity, who have character. That is the only way this country can be saved.
All right then. Talking about, should I take that as your concluding thoughts on this?
Maybe. Or you have something else?
All right. So that would be your. Let's get concluding thoughts on this one. So let's go back to Honorable Jude Omobawale Idumogu. Let's get your concluding thoughts on this conversation and the previous one before we get into our third conversation for today.
Well, like I've said earlier on, is like one of you have helped me to conclude it. Whoever that wants to come to equity should come with clean hands. So for the debtor guy, irrespective of the party where he's coming from or representing, he has to clean his house. And also, like I've told you, the reality is that these are the best period for debtors to collect their money from any candidate that is vying for public office.
Okay, this is in the realm of allegation. Allegedly a debtor. Let's not pin that on him. Let's not call him a debtor guy. He's allegedly a debtor. Thank you very much. So would that be all?
Yeah, for now.
All right then. Thank you very much. So, Honorable Clem Agui, let's get your concluding thoughts, please.
Yeah, you see, when we keep talking about the debtor guy, you see, you have to look, as a lawyer, you have to look this even beyond the debt, because one, there's a transaction. One, I paid for land. Two, you didn't give me land, you give me money. You can even be stretched further to fraud. And fraud is a crime. So don't even say it's a debt. Because there's a criminal act there of fraud. You obtain money from people under false pretense of giving them land. You didn't give them the land, you didn't give them back their money. So this is even more serious that you are looking at it. Maybe that could be the alleged part. But the fact of debt is there, because the people that say you're owing debt are there telling you that you're owing them. It's left for you to deny that they didn't pay you for land and there's no land to give them. So having said that, the political period, you cannot be owing people that humongous amount of money, which may be their entire life savings, and you're running for political office. The only time they can collect their money is now. There was somebody that was owing me, and he was using my money. He was throwing a extravagant party, running for House of Rep in Imo State. I called him there, that pay me my money. Otherwise, I'm coming to Imo State to collect my money. In fact, the next week, he paid me my money. So if those people want their money, they should go and collect it now, because this is opportunity.
All right then. All right then. Honorable Claire Magui, a lawyer, political and social affairs commentator, chairman, former chairman in Jikoka LGA. Thank you very much. That's you've just taught us a good way to go after debtors. Okay. Patrick Ohifemi, please, let's get your concluding thoughts on this one.
Okay.
You could mention the previous conversation on this as well, both of them. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I think a lot has been said about this Anambra election, and I think it will be a good opportunity to say that the Nigerian people, we the citizens, we are going through a lot, and then the leaders are servants of the people. You know, this is one concept that the opposition needs to find a way to pass across to Nigerians. Nigerians need political education. Nigerians need to understand that when you need a doctor, when you take your wife to the hospital and she's pregnant, you don't ask for the tribe of the doctor. What you want is good services. When your car is bad, what you need is a mechanic that fixes it. Why is it that when we get to elections, what we begin to consider is where is this man from and his tribe? I think this is one education that needs to be taken across Nigeria. And I don't know how this conversation about vote buying is going to take place, because you are asking a hungry man not to accept money, and then you're asking him to vote. Now he looks at the election like, am I going to, is my candidate going to emerge, or should I just take this one and go, make I just collect this one and go rest? That's what Nigerians feel. So I think that we must find a middle ground to tell Nigerians that, look, take the money because it belongs to you, but vote for the right person. That is how to punish these people. I think that a lot of education has to go on, and we must base it on reality. You cannot tell a hungry man who has nothing at home to reject 25,000. How on earth is going to tell you that he will do that? These are some of the realities that we're trying to tell people that, look, there are things you must preach to people, and you must educate them in a way that they can actually practically carry it out. Thank you.
It seems that Prince Francis Chilaka disagrees with you.
No, see, I keep saying this. You can't do something same way and expect a different result. I don't believe in that school of thought.
Doesn't the money belong to
No, I don't. No.
To the people.
Moses, I do not believe in that school of thought that says collect and vote something else. No, you are part of the corruption system. And for those who collect money, sometimes I ask myself, you're collecting 25,000 naira, you're collecting 50,000 naira. How long will it last you?
And vote for the right person, he said.
No, don't collect the money.
Is it even possible to
don't collect the money? If you don't collect the money and you vote the right person, then you want this country to grow forward, to move forward. But when you collect the money...
What if you don't collect the money, you vote, and the right person you voted for doesn't get in there? So what do you do?
If the votes don't count, like I keep telling people, nobody will be buying votes. The reason why people buy votes and the reason why elections are rigged is that people register to vote, they don't turn up. So you have a place that has 500 voters, and at the end of the day, 100 comes out. You think the other 400 will go like that? So the truth of the matter is that nobody should come and preach that collect the money. Don't collect the money.
All right, okay. We're
vote the right person.
We're wrapping up this conversation, but we do. I hear that Clem Aguyi has another contribution. He has a different opinion. Let's have your thoughts, please.
Yes, let me quickly add that I think Mr. Chilaka is living on a different planet. You don't tell an accident victim, you don't ask an accident victim that has lost a lot of blood, and they brought him on emergency whether he's diabetic before you give him drip. He needs to survive first. People are hungry. The reality on the ground is that if people are very hungry and they don't have food at home, and vote buying will be there. The reality is that we politicians and we that are traded in politics should be able to fight against the system that is weaponizing poverty. You cannot come and be preaching to a very hungry man that you collect money to vote. It's not possible. Not even in America. If you weaponize the homeless people that want to vote in America, They'll ask you for money. They'll ask you for tea. They'll ask you for food. If you watch the American election, some candidates were even distributing food door to door.
I wish we can have a debate on this between both of us.
Exactly what I wanted.
Yes,
exactly what I wanted.
Because when politicians speak, they speak from two sides of the mouth.
Now, let's wrap it up now. Let's wrap it up. What I want to say is that, excuse me, sir. What I want to say is that I think we might have to reconvene and discuss the issue of weaponizing hunger. How hunger has spurred action for political change in other spaces.
I agree with that.
And why we can't have all of that.
I accept the challenge.
I said the challenge.
Okay, we'll do that.
I do. All right then. Well, thank you very much, gentlemen, for your time and your thoughts. We have to let you all go. We do appreciate you. We've been speaking with Prince Francis Chilaka. He's been with us in-house. He's a political affairs commentator. We've also had Jude Omobowale Idumogu, former member, Lagos State House of Assembly, represented Oshodi Solo Constituency 2, and also Honorable Clem Aguyi, lawyer, political and social affairs commentator, former chairman in Jikoka LGA, Anambra State. And from Abuja, Mr. Patrick Ohifeme, political activist and good governance advocate. We do appreciate you, gentlemen, for your time and your thoughts on the program. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll be looking at another conversation. Islamic cleric Gumi warns security forces not to provoke terrorists after peace deal in Katsina. Let's talk about this when we come back. We'll be joined by Dili Fanimo. Join us again.
Good morning. It's the start of a beautiful day. Well, start your day right with a healthy dose of news, fun, and inspiration. Join us on VOP this morning for the latest news, trending topics, and uplifting stories to set your day on the right vibe. From news and current events to lifestyle and entertainment, you are covered.
VOP this morning, 8 a.m., Monday through Friday.
In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest.
Now, controversial Kaduna-based Islamic cleric Sheikh Gumi has stirred a fresh controversy by cautioning security operatives not to provoke terrorists after a peace arrangement was reached in Katsina State. Well, in a Facebook post, Gumi insisted that any attempts to confront the armed groups could plunge the region back into bloodshed. Well, his comments followed a peace dialogue held in Faskari on Sunday involving residents, community leaders, and bandit commanders, including the wanted kingpin, Ado Alero. Video evidence showed heavily armed headers attending the meeting and interacting openly with locals and traditional authorities. Meanwhile, just before the peace meeting, Some gunmen suspected to be bandits reportedly killed an officer of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, identified as CCA Adamu Abdullah, in an ambush along Yantumaki Damusa Road. Well, the incident reportedly occurred on Friday at approximately 5 p.m. in Dafa village when the bandits laid deadly ambush against the NSCDC personnel. Well, 4 other personnel equally sustained injuries in the attack. We've been joined in the studio here by Dele Fanimo. Dele is a reporter and a political affairs analyst. Good morning, Dele Fanimo, and thanks to have you.
And Chukwuma.
Good morning.
Okay, beautiful. Gumi says we should not torpedo the peace deal with bandits because they have the power to do damage. What does that speak to the fight against insecurity?
As a matter of fact, it's too complacent of government to not have arrested Gumi before now. How can somebody who is not a state actor initiate, dictate, and talk on behalf of non-state actors that are dealing with the country? By now, this man should be tried for treason. He became a terrorist to the extent that Saudi Arabia had to send him back when he went on Lesser Hajj. Is that not instructive enough? How can you parade terrorists along with state security apparatus having a meeting over what?
Yes,
one of the earliest teachings or early teachings of James Sadi Chase when he was reading in the 70s was that you don't negotiate with a blackmailer.
Okay.
Because the more you negotiate, the more they come back for more.
I was coming to that, what you said. When you said that he's not a state actor.
He's not.
But he's been negotiating, intermediating between the government and the bandits.
Government made him so.
So he's an actor.
But tell me exactly the position he's holding in government. That the lot will now fall on him. That he should be the one to be talking on behalf of government.
Concerned citizen.
Concerned citizen? Which means he has the modus operandi and the actors of this game. He should be brought in and interrogated to give us clues as to the whereabouts. Of course, he knows the whereabouts of all these bandits. He mingles with them.
He has said that openly.
And for him to even say, this is a veiled threat to authorities.
Okay, talking about actors, state actors and non-state actors, we had the governor of Zamfara State like 2 or 3 weeks ago said, look, if I have the powers, I can stop insecurity in Zamfara State. In 1 month, I know the terrorists, I know their hiders, I know where they are.
But it's helpless.
From what?
No, what Zamfara State governor, his own case is different.
Okay.
He is not mingling with them in the open. Even if he has any meeting with them, it will be in the closet.
At the point, he was accused by his predecessor of liaising with them, having liaison with them.
Was Matawale not accused of doing such? No. You see, if these terrorists or whatever they call them, bandits or whatever, I don't consider them as bandits. They are terrorists. Now, if they are assailing the state to the extent that it's becoming overwhelming, the governor can begin to have sort of negotiation, buying time for the right people, for the right machinery of government to strike. The point is, I, as a person, I don't believe in all this hide and seek.
Now, talking about Nigerian government and its way of handling these issues with bandits, we've constantly used the words kinetic and non-kinetic approach. We've used that a lot of times. This negotiation seems to fall within the realm of a non-kinetic approach towards the issue of banditry. Yesterday, Monday, we hear that about 40 worshippers, were abducted from a mosque in Zamfara State very early in the morning by some bandits, of course. Took about 40 worshippers from this mosque. And in Katsina, we're talking about reaching a peace deal. And the pictures that came out of that peace deal, I saw a picture where an individual had cartridges, on him. And then had
ammunition.
Cartridges, and then had
around him.
AK-47 by his side. What is the optics? Does that look good? How does that affect the image of Nigeria? If
it's not even the image of Nigeria that is affected.
Sees that.
If you have that rifle, is not going to be AK-47.
It is actually.
It is. If
something higher.
Yes, it's higher.
But the fact that
it's likely to be
that,
general purpose machine.
You are having that
submachine gun
at a peace meeting.
That's what I'm saying. That optics alone is enough to even scare residents away from Katsina, because in a way you are validating their existence by having meeting with them. Even if you want to come to a peace meeting, why should that person be armed to that point? It shows that you are showing that we are overwhelmed with what we have. Come and see the kind of weapon these people are parading. That's exactly what they are showing us.
So it's more like a show of strength.
A show of force against residents of that state. And where would they run to if government had already surrendered? Because it's a surrender.
That's what it seems like.
That's what it seems like. Why should it be? Why should we surrender?
Okay. Well, this will be a good place to anchor this conversation. We'll talk more about this and other issues during newspaper review. Well, I must say a very big thank you to you, Dele Fanimo, who who just got back from the abroad. Thank you very much. Welcome.
I never got close to the airport anyway.
Well, thank you very much. Well, that's it on the show today. Chukuma and I will be back, and also Mr. Fanimo will be back here at 10, which is just a few minutes away, looking at stories from the papers. On behalf of the backroom staff, my colleague here, Chukuma Okoro, I am Moses Humphrey. Join us again at 10. Bye for now.
In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe. Hunger no get religion.
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues, on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react, understand.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We bring in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV, channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice. From the views on the street,
we go to bed empty hunger,
to the blaring horns of a hustling city, the loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lodge.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and penchant for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills three things that makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people.
The ozone layer, a fragile sheet of gas high up in the atmosphere, absorbs most of the sun's ultraviolet rays, preventing damage to human health, crops, and ecosystems. Expert warns that without this natural protection, skin cancer, cataract, and environmental degradation would rise sharply. Thanks to global cooperation under the Montreal Protocol signed in 1987, nearly 99% of harmful chemicals like chlorofluorocarbons have been phased out. The United Nations says this success story proves that collective action can reverse environmental damage, noting that ozone recovery is on track and could return to 1980 levels by mid-century. From Lagos to London, campaigns are ongoing to encourage eco-friendly lifestyle, such as proper waste disposal, energy efficiency, and reduced use of harmful aerosols. Schools and community are also joining the global call to fix the sky by protecting the ozone layer. My name is Onyema Franklin, reporting for VOP TV.
The 2564 is coming up on Barney 9, right?
The 2564 Atlantic Tower.
What happens in the hush behind hangar doors? Who signs the papers that gamble with lives? Which truths were grounded before they even ever had wings? If you've ever buckled a seatbelt at 30,000 feet, if you've ever stared out of that tiny window and wondered who's really in control of the skies, it isn't just flight, it's power, it's politics, it's pressure sealed in steel. We're peeling back the clouds from runway risks to sky-high secrets. We're diving deep where most dare not to look. Aviation Scope, every Sunday at 7 p.m. only on Voice of the People TV. We don't just report, we reveal. We don't just ask, we uncover. Because when it comes to the skies, ignorance is turbulence. Aviation Scope, the sky isn't the limit, it's just the beginning.
Welcome to Kitty's Corner. Every weekend is a new journey. Join Auntie Oni as she embarks on thrilling adventures. Each episode takes the young explorers to a different fantastical world filled with exciting challenges, making new friends and learning valuable life lessons. The show begins with lots of excitement in a cozy storytelling mood. Parents teach the importance of kindness, honesty, bravery, teamwork, or curiosity. Kitty's Corner is a delightful blend of fun, education, and imagination with catchy songs, interactive games, and heartwarming stories. Join Auntie Oni every Saturday, 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. on Voice of the People Television. Kiddies Corner, perfect destination for curious minds.
My name is Esther. They call me the Oga Patapata of them are the general overseer of them all. Every man, every woman has got a voice where integrity is the volume. So this is Voice of the People's TV. Voice of the People's TV. So this is the people's voice. And the people's voice is the voice of God. That's the voice populi in Latin. The people's voice is the voice of God. So keep watching Voice of the People. In fact, my name is Voice of the People. Keep watching MC Ado Pikin.
Hi guys, my name is Kagan. I am Nigeria's biggest tech content creator, and I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Voice of the People TV. Keep watching, enjoy, and you're welcome.
My name is MC Alamano. They say call me Enjoy Med Landlord. It's VOP TV. Keep watching VOP TV. Don't touch it down. Even if you want to touch it down, increase the volume. If you don't increase the volume, I told me.
My name is Collins Agawabe, popularly known as No My Day. But last, more than No My Day. Or more. Not be all so the cook right at the fry plantain. We keep on watching VOP TV. The voice of the people, the voice of Edo. If you now want to get the authentic news for Edo, the way it be, that's why they show and all they cut anything come on. At VOP TV.
Join us as we drive into the world of politics. Through insightful interviews with prominent political figures, both serving and former governors, ministers, senators, legislators, party chieftains, activists, and analysts. Get first-hand information into the decision-making processes that affect our daily lives. Highly engaging one-hour program that brings political discourse into focus.
I am Chukwuma Okoro.
Political Lens, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Join us.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOP TV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television.
In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe. Hunger no get religion.
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television. Don't just react, understand.
Well, thanks for joining us again. This is Newspaper Review, and I am Moses Humphrey.
I am Chukwuma Okoro.
And we have with us Daily Fanimo. I did say that he'll be joining this conversation. Thank you very much for staying with us.
Always my pleasure.
And also, Barrister Darlington Agumo joins the conversation as well. Barrister, good morning to you.
Good morning, Moses and Mr. Koro.
Now let's dive into the papers now. We have The Guardian. The Guardian newspaper has its window headlines. 2027, Nigerians won't accept technical glitches. Excuses. PDP warns INEC. FG suspends customs FOB levy on imports. How our refinery saved Nigeria's oil sector by Dangote. That statement coming from Dangote. Well, gentlemen, let's start off with Nigeria will not accept technical glitches, excuses. PDP warns INEC. Let's have your view on that one.
I agree with them. For one, let us have a free and fair election. But if the people that are running this government is people I know, or if I am not mistaken, they will not listen. They will test the will of
people or INEC itself. I think the onus is on INEC now to ensure that glitches are not experienced.
No. Who is INEC working for?
Nigerians.
No. If there be any glitch, it must be in favor of somebody. So it is that person that we should be talking to. Because it's that person that are now going to manipulate or influence INEC to do something that will favor them.
Yeah, but INEC is working for Nigerians. The duty of INEC is to ensure free and fair elections. So
that there should be no glitch, because the glitch they had the other time, it favors a particular political party. Is that not true?
I don't know.
So when we are looking at things from this angle, we have to be very cautious. Like I've always said, the problem Nigeria have had since independence has always come from what? Elections. Go and read our history. And we are saying that, look, why will it benefit you for cause problem in your country because you want to be in power? And then you cause a lot of problem, and then there will be problem that nobody can handle. So,
how would you describe the off-cycle elections? Have we learned anything from
They have not. That is my fear. Exactly. That is my fear. They have not learned. They have not, because in fact it's even worse than what we are thinking of. The way the off-cycle election were handled in Edo and Ondo, it is nothing to write home about. Maybe they will repent with Anambra that is coming in November. But the thing is that INEC should be very careful. Unfortunately, this Yakubu Mahmoud may not be the one that will conduct the 2027 election. Okay. From what Galadima is saying, listen very well. Listen.
Unfortunately.
Listen. Galadima is saying that if a notorious retired judge is made the INEC chairman, that there will be civil war in Nigeria. I'm not the one that said it. That means there are pillars. 5 names have been penciled down. And Galadima is saying that, look, if this particular man is appointed INEC chairman, definitely there will be problem in Nigeria. So it is now left for the authorities to listen to what this man is saying. Because, like I said, elections have always brought problem in Nigeria, and we don't want it again.
I have a different opinion about this. See,
as always,
the Beavers and IREF have been declared as operational tool of INEC. And as a result of that, that's why people couldn't go to court.
It's discretional. It's not legally binding.
That's what I'm saying.
You say it's operational.
What I mean is it's operational tool for INEC. It is left for them to either use it or not.
Oh, no.
As it starts,
they use it last time, but it was not binding. It was not legally binding.
It's not the same thing we are saying.
No,
understand
the
position of two of
you. It's not binding.
It's not part of the law. That's what I'm saying. It's not actionable. Yes.
You said that.
So I think the route we should go is to make it actionable by making sure the National Assembly brings it to the electoral law. That if any defect, that particular election in that locality should be cancelled and be regarded as inconclusive. That is the only way to rein in INEC. If we are still debating the propriety of IREF and BVAS and we have not been able to pin them down to be responsible enough to use it, either they like it or not, then we are not going
There
anywhere.
are other electoral provisions that INEC can manipulate if they want to do damage to the election. That is the truth.
Then we should be blaming lawyers. Because they put these things together.
In all of this,
He seems to agree. He seems to agree with you.
And it's one of them.
My concern in all of this is taking it out from the rules and guidelines of INEC, which is discretionary. Because what happened in 2023 is that INEC came out to say, look, we are at liberty to use or not to use. And everybody, because they say it wasn't actionable, you couldn't go to court because of it.
to challenge
they
it.
say it was part of the electoral law, but not part of the Nigerian
And they
law.
use it in favor of somebody.
Beautiful.
So
Now,
that's it.
the question is this. PDP that is asking the National Assembly to codify it, in our legal system. My question is, how do we implement all of that?
Very simple.
Very simple, Barrister. So if there's a glitch, like Dele said, in a particular constituency, what happens? You go back. Because the fact of the matter
it will be invalid.
Fact of the matter is that there are still some areas of this country where there are no networks. So does it mean those people are not going to vote?
But they are going to be
disenfranchised.
No, it's not possible.
Barrister, hold on now, let me finish. So that is one of the concerns that I have. But again, PDP said there is no part of this country that POS machines have not been deployed. And they use SIM cards with networks. So why is it that POS machines are able to work, but beavers couldn't work? I recall at that time, INEC said something about some of they had technical issues with either the SIM cards not working and all of that and network connection. So it ties to what the barrister is saying, that it is open to manipulation. It could be manipulated. A situation where the POS machine in a particular locality is working, but the beavers machine in that same locality, using the same SIM card, using the same network, is not working. So how do we fix all of that within the context of legalizing it, making it actionable?
We counter it by making sure that anything that is not pure or clean in that particular area is rendered invalid.
Barrister, do you know that internet is not available nationwide? There are areas that you don't have access to.
They can deploy it. Mostly they can deploy. Yes, they can deploy it.
When the infrastructure is not available.
No, it will be available at least for the purpose of that election. It won't take anybody anything to.
I don't think we have gotten to that level yet, because using your regular internet on your phone to do transactions at certain times, we've seen people do transactions. Maybe you go to
for the whole of yesterday.
Downtimes.
I said for the whole of yesterday, I wouldn't make transactions on my account.
They will deduct you. They will not credit.
Yes, they will debit you and then
they will debit you. And
they will even come up with error.
So
meanwhile, when they say error, they have
debited you, but it's not getting to the person you are passing.
I don't think we have the facility yet to depend solely.
It's just like this WAEC and NECO saying they want to transit to CBT.
Yeah.
Whereas
people don't even know how
30% of Nigerians, they don't even have light, electricity, and they don't even have these systems.
You see,
look at the glitches.
What we are going to do is very simple. We can get it right. All you needed is to get ad hoc staffs who will be trained on these things. That one is certain. We are not lacking those staffs from our universities and all that. You can deploy them, train them on how to manage this thing. Then the networks, you can contract them to make sure that these areas that are, that are not on the network, co-op them, bring them in for the purpose of this election. If you are intentional, it can be done. As long as these people can still use their POS and all that, those downtime that we are talking, they can avoid it. It's a question of being what? Intentional. That, look, for the period of this